see a light flowing down from the heavenlies, and we are here reaching out. The word of God is all we need. Who the sun sets free is free indeed. So God, please speak to me, reaching the next generation.
Seek to bring you there. And there we go. We have it. So I'm Bishop Jerome Jones, and I am so thankful, first of all, to be here today to share with you. And I'm going to take time today to just go through some really interesting information and sharing with you what God is doing and what's in our heart, and hopefully that in doing so that you will find this to be something that is noteworthy and worth your support. You know, these are holiday seasons, and let me just try to do this here for just a moment. But as we come into this holiday season, and it is a time in which people are being charitable. I want to encourage you to remember those that are poor, those that are in need, those that just are going through some very difficult times and have no one really on their side to help them. And as a child of God, I just want to talk to you about a project that the Lord has given me and He has birthed it in my heart. And one of the things that I want to say to every individual, that whenever God puts birth something in your heart, you will only find peace when you are walking in the fulfillment of that. And no matter what is being done, in life, if we're not walking in the purpose, if we're not walking in the purpose of God that God has put in our heart, that thing that God has told us to do, that thing that is just as clear as the sun shining in the day and the moon at night, or as clear as you're looking at yourself and you understand that this is what God has told me to do. And I am so thankful that I get to say that with absolute certainty that this is what God has ordained. And so we are going to talk to you about 5 students. You probably will see them on your screen. In fact, I'm going to be sharing with you some detailed information about these students and about our food and clean water project and our educational project. I am involved with the university there in Gumber, in the nation of Liberia. And the Lord opened a door, a wide door for me to walk in and to minister there. I spent 3 months there in Africa. Later on, this week, I'm going to talk about my testimony. This is a very special month for me, a very special time, because, just last year, this time, I nearly died in this same room. And so I got a testimony that it's just the goodness of God. And but I want to talk to you about these 5 students that God has enabled us to help, and not just them, but many others. I'm going to highlight 5 today. And so we're going to show you some information that we want you to see. We've gotten clearance from the students and from the facilities, and just to put this in proper context. When I was there in Africa, I met with the senators, I met with the deputy directors, I met with the directors of all the youth programs and all the sport programs, I met with the government officials, I met with the deputy of communications, I met with the top law enforcement, and I met with the different cabinet members. And in doing so, just not because we had any special message, but God just kind of opened the way up, opened this door up, and just sent us forth in it. When you know that God did something, you know when you have no part in pursuing it, but it pursues you, then you just know, because you have no agendas. One of the things that is so key in knowing the will and purpose of God for your life is when you eliminate all of your agendas. When you eliminate all of your agendas, now you know that you can discern now the will of God. You can give yourself wholly over to God and just let God direct you, let God use you to work his purpose and his plan. And when I was there in Liberia, I'm going to talk more extensively about this, how this came about. But I got a chance to meet with the ranking senator, and I also got a chance to visit vocational schools and universities, and I met with the different faculties and staff faculty members, and I got a chance to sit down in the office of the president of the universities, and in doing so, I didn't know this, but it came to be one Sunday morning. I went to the church of the overseer and the pastor of the church there, and they invited me to come. And then a couple of weeks later, they called me back to come and preach there. And the pastor then stood up and said that he wanted to meet with us, and we went to the office, and we just went on, and little did I know then what was about to take place. But the pastor wanted me to be introduced to the college and to the staff at the college and to the president of the university. And we did. And the long story short, for the sake of this broadcast, is that we became the owner and director of this ministry there. Said, Bishop Jones, we want you to be a part of this team. And I thought about something when he said that, because I hadn't given it no thought, but I thought about all in my early goings of ministry. God has always had me in the educational realm. He's always had me doing something to better the education of our young people. Those of you here in the States know that I have a school that I've had for years, and turned out students after students after students in graduating them for a better education. So, and this is not something that was government funded. It's not something that we got a grant to do, but we paid for it out of our pocket. We was paying $6,000 a month just for the mortgage. So, and we had 25 staff members on payroll. And so we know how ministry works. And it was such a delight, such a blessing. And so when God says, open this opportunity for us to get involved with the college, and after seeing the poverty, after seeing the gut-wrenching poverty, like I've never seen it before, it'll literally change your heart, you know. And if you try to imagine it, but being there to see what these young boys and girls and these mothers and fathers and grandparents was enduring, it's gut wrenching. And so God spoke to me and says, I want you to help them. I'm not talking about, listen to me very carefully. I'm not talking about what somebody told me. I'm not talking about somebody that walked up to me and prophesied and all that stuff. I'm making a declaration. God told me to help them. And I was shocked that God telling me to help them, because I don't have $100 in the bank. I don't have I have absolutely nothing. But God said for me to help them. And it's just amazing. Then God spoke to me again with the scripture, in that how he chooses those that seemingly are weak to overthrow things that are strong. God just began to revelate that word and let me know that you have more than enough. So I went in prayer. I asked the Lord, I said, Lord, what do you want me to do? And he said, I want you to lend them your voice. And I'm thinking about, nobody knows my voice. But God says, I want you to lend them your voice. And what he was saying, I want you to be my mouthpiece on their behalf. And so I understood it then. I understand it now. So I began to go throughout the nation there, went through 4 different states and met with people, met with land people that wanted to give us land, people that wanted us. And right now, while I'm talking to you, we got people that said, look, we have 350 acres of land that if we can just get any kind of help, we could grow this land and farm it and feed multitudes upon multitudes of people in cities all over the country. And so this is what God has done. And so it's still available to us today. But I want to talk about the education, because 85% of the people in Liberia are not educated. And the war has left many devastated. It was a brutal war, and many have been devastated. Many children are on their own. There's a huge abuse of children and elderlies there. There are no social programs there at all. We are so blessed here in our country, but you don't have food stamps. You don't have Medicaid and Medicare. You don't have no program for the handicapped. There's absolutely none. And you're subject to walk around and see people laying around on the side of the road dying. You're subject to walk around and walk in someone's home, shed of a house, and see them just laying there, can't even move because they're sick and have no medical treatment. You're subject to see all kinds of children that's starving because they haven't eaten in days, or their parents that are sickly because they're drinking water that is disease infested, And so I witnessed this with my own eyes. I don't have to have nobody tell me, but I witnessed this with my own eyes. While I was in Africa, I had to take several people and rush them to the hospital so that they can be saved from dying. There was a level of pain and heartbreakingness that was there that unlike any that I've experienced in my life. And I want you to know, saints of God, I left Africa with this conviction. I will never forget and never allow them to be forgotten. God said to me, I've called you to help them. I call you to be their mouthpiece to speak on their behalf. And so I toured the college. Some of you seen the videos where I toured the college. And, I was going to one of the college. We was riding and they pointed out this is a college. And when I looked at the place that they said was a college, there was a dump. It's like our dump, where we dump all of the garbage, where they take the garbage trucks go and dump all the garbage. That's what was right there where the college was. And the classroom was sometimes outside on a rock or something, sitting on a rock, sitting right side a dump with all kind of garbage that, in there. This was no chairs and desks and classrooms closed in, none of those things. And so I just, you just can't imagine it. You hear the term college and you think, wow, Americanized. No, this is nothing like that. But thanks be to God, the a man of God. He invested his whole life in helping the people, and God has used him. Prince Johnson, God has used him. He wrote a book, and he sold 400,000 copies of the book, and he took all millions of dollars and made started a college that is on the level of colleges here in America. I've seen no other college in that country, and I've been to 4 states, and I've seen no college that come close to this. And there's dormitories for the children to stay in. There's cafeterias for them to eat. There's an agriculture so that they can grow their own food, and the food is able to feed everybody in the college and also help others in the community. We have a water factory there on campus that produces clean water. We're trying to now advance that so that it can spread out and go into the other states, so that we can provide more water. They can provide more water to other communities. They also, on the college grounds, is a medical center being built to train them in as to those that want to go into nursing, those that want to go and be a doctor, and etc. On the college grounds, there's an IT community technology. They have laptops on the desks of all the desks in the room. This is a state-of-the-art college that is touching all aspects of the livelihood for the people there, because the children that we're sponsoring come from families that have no home to live in. Many times, that what we call home, they have a shed, and many of them have no parents. Many of them have siblings. Many of them have worked in farms just to provide food for them to sustain their livelihood. And I'm going to show you some testimonies that they wrote. The college established a Bishop Jerome Jones Scholarship Fund. That's when we were there. A Bishop Jerome Jones Scholarship Fund. And I've got 5 students, and I'm going to show you their autobiography that they wrote. These students have to write this autobiography. They have to maintain certain GPA. They have to have the recommendation of local leadership. They have to demonstrate worthiness to get the scholarship, that they're going to continue and they're going to be steadfastly there, because if you're going to lift that nation up, then they've got to get a good, godly education. And what we love about it, the president of the college, Dr. Zayzay, is a minister of the gospel, overseer of churches. The owner and founder of the ministry, Pastor Prince Johnson, is also a man of God. I preached in their churches. I've sat with them, dined with them. And I know that by the discerning of the Holy Ghost being and me being with them, I know that they are just men that love God, and they are demonstrating that because they have sacrificed their entire livelihood for the benefit of the underprivileged. And so I'm going to share with you, I'm going to show you my screen. Those of you that, now if you're on this feed over here, you're not going to see my screen. But if you'll check one of the other feeds that I have, because I got two going on. One is a backup to the other one, just in case we have a shortage connection. But I want to show you my screen, and I'm going to show you some of these 5 students that we are sponsoring. They're in college now, but they don't have the money to sustain themselves in college. They're in college. I'm going to show you their autobiography that they've written to me, and these are students that we've got in our scholarship foundation, and we simply need your support in this time of season. You know, when we're thinking about giving gifts, I'm saying, look, for all 5 of these students, all 5 of them combined, the total cost for all 5 of them to get re-registered, to pay for their registration, to get their books, to get their tuition covered, to pay for their housing. And that's a good thing because they can live right there. They can have all their food right there. This is something they don't have if they're not in college. But for all 5 of them is a total of $1,015. That covers all 5 of them for that whole semester. You can't get that in America nowhere. So and it is a good quality education, godly men and women teaching, and it is a good state-of-the-art college, and it provides housing for them, and it provides food for them. And also there is a radio station that is being built right on the campus, where I'm going to be broadcasting there all over the nation of Liberia on that radio station and into other nations. So this is just a God sent, a God ordained thing. And so I want you to consider giving a gift. I really want you to consider giving a gift, and we're trying to get it. We're a little bit late on it, but we're asking. I just talked to the president of the college, and I've just communicated with Pastor Johnson as well today, and we're saying let's get the support in immediately. We really need to keep these kids in college. You know, I think about the pain and suffering that they have already endured, and that for them to get to this point is nothing short of a miracle. It is nothing short of a miracle. When you see the path that some of these kids had to travel to get where they are, you'll know that this is just a miracle of God. And I hope it'll move your heart to just not just wow about how they are steadfastly ambitious, but I hope it will move your heart to help. I hope that you will say, well, Bishop Jones, I'll give something. You know, I tell people say, well, if I just don't have but $10 or $15, I don't know what that would make a difference. Yes, it would. Whatever you can give, you know, our goal is to get $1,015 to cover the tuition for this semester. And we're asking you to help us. You know, if 100 people decided to say, well, I'm going to give $10, we'd have it done. So don't think small of your gift. These children are desperate for food. They're desperate to get an education. You know, I was talking with one of them. One of them was 16 years old and just in the 7th grade. You know, couldn't get to school before because they're always having to break up their school to go out and work on farm labor in order to provide food for their sometimes mother and grandparents and other siblings. So we are so thankful that we're able to help them. I want to show you some of them. I'm going to try to see if I can pull this up on our screen. I'm not a tech savvy person, so I probably need to go to school myself to learn how to do some of this stuff. But I'm going to attempt to bring up some things on my screen to hopefully enable us to see it. So if I happen to miscue and I don't get back on here for some reason, it'll be because I pressed the wrong buttons and did something that is not in line with what I want to do. So if that happens and you drop, it'll be because of my doing here. And I want to say, don't forget, saints of God, don't forget, help me help them. Help these 5 students. Now, I'm going to give you the names of them because I have them right here. The first one that we're going to look at is Rita. Rita is a student and she is studying criminal justice. And it's just a good thing. You know, she has a really good ambition there. And then we have, after Rita, we have, let's see if I can get this to, we have Joe Capehart. Joe Capehart is studying, let's see here. Let's see what his, he's studying information technology, engineering and information technology. So now let's go to the next one we have here is Sam Zayzay Jr. And he is studying, let's see, majoring in information technology, and his minor is English. And then we have the next one is Adolphus Peter, and Adolphus Peter is majoring in education, and he's attending the liberal arts and social science as well. And his other minor is criminal justice. And then our 5th one is Archie Mentonah. And Archie Mentonah is majoring in information technology. And he is and some of them are freshmen and some of them are juniors, no, sophomores. And so what I want to do is I want to secure their tuition. And I don't want them to have to drop out. And you know, when you start school and then you have to, something happen and you can't continue, the odds of you going back is stacked so much against you. I know that we all understand that. So I don't want them to have to drop out. I don't want them to have to drop out and lose all the momentum and all the things that they've already endured to get where they are. And so I'm asking you to really consider. Now, right now, we're going to look at, I'm going to see if I can do this. I'm not sure, guys, and I have to hopefully I can get this right. I'm going to try to share my screen. And when you see my screen, I hope that it's going to be a little, I'm going to be taking my time, not going to try to rush through it because, again, I'm not that technologically savvy. So I've got to be very cautious about that. But I want you to see something, and I'm going to read the autobiography of some of these students. So now that we are here, it's giving me, so do I want to show my entire screen? Yes, that's what we're going to do. So now you're able to see my screen, and I haven't pulled nothing up on it yet, but I'm going to pull up something and show you the autobiography of these students. And we're going to start with, and you're into my file folder now. So I'm going to go into here is Rita, and let's look at Rita autobiography. And we see that this is her information here. And I'm going to put this back down because we don't need all of that right now. But this is her autobiography. And she says, I am Rita Zika, a student reading criminal justice at PYJ, that's Polytech University College, with a great ambition to become a lawyer. I am a single child from my mother and father. My father died 5 years ago when I was 17 years of age and still in high school. My father was involved with subsistence farming and hunting for our family's sustainability. His death almost took me out of school because he was the only source of my education and assistance to other relatives in his family. My mother, being with him in the activity of farming, could not continue alone, but to begin a petty business to support my education and for the sustainability of my family. The death of my father was a total beginning of hardship with my mother and two of my father's relative children. And I was now the small business established by my mother right before our residence and later moved to the community market that has been the means of support to my education and sustainability. Sometimes I was assisted by friends through begging for help. For my education now, the saddest story is that my mother is currently suffering from fistula, which has prevented her from going to public places for common as usual, therefore putting me in more hardship. I nowadays stand as her supporter and responsible for my education. So now I'm going to try to see if I can finish this out. It says, I am grateful to God and to Bishop Jerome Jones for his scholarship opportunity, for this scholarship opportunity should be, which I believe will reduce my stress of finding school fees. I believe when I am, and I'm going to try to pull up the second page to finish that out. She says, I believe that when I am considered for this scholarship, I will now only be more concerned finding food and medication for my sick mother. In other words, she's saying that if I can get my fees for my education, then my concern can shift to finding food and medications for her mother. Hope that I remain on this scholarship so that my dreams of becoming a lawyer can come to reality. I promise to maintain the required grade points, and then upon graduation, I could be of great help to many in need like me today. May God bless the provider and sponsor of this scholarship, Bishop Jerome Jones. Now that's Rita, and she is a student that we're supporting. Now I want to go and show you another student that we're supporting because again, we want you to see that your help today can keep these students in college, and these students coming from all kinds of brokenness in their homes. Now, as I pull up this one, this one says, I am Sam K. Zayzay Jr., studying information communication technology at the PYJ Polytechnic University College. I am struggling to pursue my ambition, which is to become an IT specialist to help my society. This dream almost got paralyzed when my father died in 2013, and I was left with nobody to help with my school. My parents were farmers, and it was by this means that they sent my siblings and me to school. My mother was left alone and does not have the hand to support my siblings and me to go to school. They have to go to the farm to grow rice and get food for sustainability. My mother still sustains the family by subsistence farming since my father's death. It is by her hard work, should be, that she's trying her best to maintain my brother and sister in school in Lofa County. I have 7 siblings, 2 brothers and 5 sisters. Now those girls live with my aunt in Monrovia, and they are finding it difficult to go to school because of limited support for their fees, even though at times they are in school and out of school at some point in time. I was 16 years old and in the 7th grade. And just think about that. 16 years old and in 7th grade at the Zorzor Central High School when my father died. I am so grateful to God to be in college for higher learning today. Many thanks to my mother for her efforts. The death of my father pained me so much because he was a loving and caring father to us all, and I regretted his death. Another worst regret I have is poor eyesight, which was caused by a friend who thrown a stone and hit it my eye, and now I have poor sight. But I thankful to God I can see. My uncle and mom took me to JFK Hospital for medical attention, and I am who I am. My father gave me an important advice when he was alive, and he did everything to see me become successful in life. Today, I am living by the pieces of advice that he gave me. It is my uncle who helps me with school fees at times while I seek for help through contracts in my neighborhood, should be contacts. I therefore thank God for him. At the same time, I am grateful to Bishop Jerome Jones to have come to Africa and help people who are in need to learn. Thank you so kindly, Bishop. I am sincerely grateful for this scholarship you have brought to the students at the PYJ Polytechnic University College, which I am part of today. God bless you in abundance. And that is one of the other students. And I could go on and show a number of students. And in fact, we will do just that for another one here, because we want you to see that supporting this project is life-changing. And that's what the gospel is all about. You know, these guys are starving, they're sickly, and we have the love of God and the gospel of Jesus Christ. And as we minister the gospel, then it's what better way to show that love. And then as we show the love, they're more open. It causes them to see the gospel in action. Here's this autobiography of another student that we have in our scholarship. It says, "I firstly want to be grateful to God for bringing Dr. Bishop Jones in my life to help me further my education sojourn." Now, I don't know about that Dr. Bishop Jones stuff, but that's I'm just reading you what they wrote, and these kids are just of such honor and respect, and they're so appreciative of everything you do for them. This applicant goes on and say, let's open this up. It if it has not been so, I could have joined my parents in the bush in making farm. Now, I've gone to the bush, guys, and the bush is no place for anybody. The bush is no place. Our prisons are better than the bush. So I just want you to put that in context and know what we're saying, because we went to the bush and rescued people's mother out of the bush and took them out of the bush and put them in a home. So we understand what is being said here. I seriously need this scholarship in pursuit of my academic sojourn because I come from a very poor background where my both parents are still alive but unable and can't afford to send me to higher education institution. I schooled in government schools throughout until I graduated from high school because I'm a self-supporter. My father of 2 children and 5 siblings, which all of them are depending upon me in terms of support. And this, I saw this so much there. One little child is the one that all the other children in the house and even parents have to depend upon that child to sustain their livelihood. It's just you cannot ever forget it once you see it. I seriously need this scholarship because I want to learn and help my people. I've faced lots of difficulties which caused me to have graduated from high school so late. I graduated from high school in 2017 and fought hard to enroll at PYJ Polytechnic University in 2022. For me to have completed last semester at PYJ wasn't easy based on lack of financial support, but as God could have it, I completed the semester with a 2.61 GPA, and this is what we're requiring them all to do. And they have to pull it up to a 3 point. We want them, our target for all of them is a 3.0. And they are agreeing to do that. But see, we're not just throwing them out if they don't have the 3.0, because we have to look at the circumstances. Many of them have to go to work and they can't go to school. And if they're hungry, they can't go to school anyway. Professors after professors told me that the children that drops out of school more than not drops out because they're hungry and they have no food and they get sick. Or they have to go work on the farm to sustain their family and the rest of their siblings. I obtained as low as this GPA because of the same difficulties which I needed to go and look for money after and before school. That's what I just said. Now, this is something I just read here, but I was just explaining it to you. And this is why their school gets interrupted, their grade GPA goes down. Once again, I want to be thankful to God the Almighty for bringing Dr. Bishop Jerome Jones into my life to help me forward my education, and Dr. Benyon Zayzay Sr., Thanks a million for making this connection for me to see this golden opportunity. And I promise to make good use of this blessing in focusing on my education to, let's see if I can get that up again, my education to make impact in the lives of the younger generation. I also want to acknowledge the effort of Senator Prince Y. Johnson for being so farsighted to have built this noble institution. And that I thank God for that. And so I join them in that. This is Adolphus, and Adolphus is one of the students that I have in my scholarship foundation. And I just want you to see that the college produced this scholarship foundation as well. And they made it so that, you know, that you'll see it. If you can see this on the screen here, this is Bishop Jerome Jones Scholarship Fund, PYJ Polytechnic University College. And this is a picture of the student. I've got all of their pictures and all of their information. So I believe that that's sufficient enough right now. And what we're going to do here now is we're going to go back to, I'm going to release ourselves back. I believe that we can, at this point, stop sharing our screen, and we can come back here. And I just want to talk with you, saints of God. I hope that you will stand with us. You know, go to give a donation. Even if we send 50% of the support, that's good. If we can send 50% of it now and 50% of it next month, I love to send it all. But these kids, I want them to stay in school, you know, and I want to do whatever I can to help them continue, because helping them helps the next generation. Helping them brings a change at the grassroots, because these are godly children. These are children that is getting the gospel ministered to them. They're in church. They're being trained by church leaders. And you know, it's what evangelism is all about. It's the sowing into others' lives. So I'm asking you today, during this Christmas season, when people are buying gifts of all sorts and spending hundreds and thousands of dollars, I'm asking you to take a little. Take a little. I don't care how small it is, but take a little and give to this project, so that these kids, they're not asking for toys. They're not asking for laptops and different gadgets and upscale gadgets. They're not asking for the latest phone. They're saying, help me stay in school. Help me stay in school so I can help my family, so I can help my community. And I'm asking you on their behalf. That's what this whole broadcast is all about. I am asking you on their behalf, please help. Our Cash App is on the screen. If you don't know it, it is $YOUGIV. You can give right now for the students in Africa. You can also give through our PayPal, which is 4042jjones@gmail.com. You can give that right now. These students, they are in need of your help. They're in need of your help. And I trust, you know, many times, you know, because it sometimes we can you know, we can hear something, and the moment as we hear it, you know, we can say, you know, that's good, you know. But what we want to be the case, what I want to be the case is that our compassion for the poor, for the needy, for the outcast, downtrodden, our compassion reflects the compassion that Christ has bestowed upon us. That's my prayer. I pray, God, help me not to forget them. I remember coming back here saying to the minister here, I will never forget. And God has been so good to us, you know, to just enable us to be a part of what he is doing, you know, in transforming people's lives. So will you go and be and partner with us? Help us reach that goal. Help us reach that goal to bring about change, you know, in the lives of these kids that are in college. Some of them are freshmen, some of them are sophomores, and many of them have siblings that they are still struggling trying to take care of. They have parents that some of them are the sole supporter of their families, and so as a result of that, their schooling gets interrupted to work. And some of them are out on farm camps that are worse than our prison camps here in America, just to get food for their families to eat at night. So I'm asking you to, in this season, to help. Some of you can say, well, I'll take care of that whole thing. I'm asking you in this season to help now. You know, I would love to be able to say to these kids, we have your support. It's ready and it's on its way. Help us do that. And I believe that that's exactly what God is speaking and what will be the results. I've got to leave you now. I hope that this has been an inspiration to you. I hope that you've been blessed, and I hope that you will be a blessing. I'm Bishop Jerome Jones, and I'm saying to viewers here and around the world, if you go with God, God will surely go with you. And until the next broadcast, have yourself a Jesus-filled day.